Hello, I'm Laura Marshall.
And I'm Melinda Rose, and this is Light Matters for May 8th, 2013.
On today's show, a new digital camera offers a wide-angle bug's eye view and nearly infinite depth of field. OCT improves lens development. LEDs lower greenhouse energy costs without shrinking crop yield. And a laser-based detector identifies asbestos in real time.
Taking cues from Mother Nature, a multi-university team developed a technique to build cameras made of flexible large arrays of tiny focusing lenses and miniaturized detectors in an almost hemispherical layout similar to the eye structure of certain insects. The technology provides a wide-angle field of view, low aberrations, high acuity of motion, and high depth perception for applications ranging from advanced surveillance cameras to miniaturized endoscopes. Building these systems is daunting because existing camera technologies rely on bulk glass lenses and detectors constructed on the planar surfaces of silicon wafers, which cannot be bent or flexed, much less formed into a hemispherical shape. A critical feature of the new fly's eye cameras is that they incorporate integrated microlenses, photodetectors, and electronics on such curved surfaces. To do this, they use soft rubbery optics bonded to detectors and electronics in mesh layouts that can be stretched and deformed reversibly and without damage. The research, funded by DARPA and the National Science Foundation, appears in the journal Nature.
Using OCT during the making of a new type of optical lens could improve its development by providing a better picture of the complete structure that makes up the material. OCT is a powerful imaging tool with many applications in the biomedical sciences, but applying the technique to optical lenses has proved challenging. Now the University of Rochester has tweaked OCT to obtain 3D high-resolution images of spherical gradient in refractive index, or SGRIN lenses, developed at Case Western Reserve University. These new lenses, which consist of thousands of layers of compressed plastic bent into a lens-type shape, could be used in lightweight single-lens cameras, ball lenses for solar collectors, and night vision goggles. SGRINs are lighter and more easily formed into different shapes than glass lenses. Plastic optics have their own challenges, however, including consistency and quality. Yannick Rolland of the University of Rochester believes that embedding OCT in the manufacturing process can begin to address these challenges. Rolland and colleagues shined IR light onto the SGRIN lens using a technique similar to ultrasound and observed how each of the lens's layers bent the scattered light. By counting how much time the light takes to come back, it's possible to know from what depth inside the material it scattered. Being able to see the complete lens structure enabled them to pinpoint some areas of the manufacturing process that could be improved. For example, they saw that some of the layers were thicker than what the developer of the manufacturing process had hoped for. The results were published in scientific reports.
LED-equipped greenhouses can grow the same number of off-season tomatoes as those outfitted with traditional lighting, but using a lot less energy, according to a Purdue University study. The average tomato is shipped about 1,500 miles from a warmer climate where it's grown to a cooler climate that cannot produce the fruit cost-effectively in the winter. Not only do those trips cost a lot and increase the industry's carbon footprint, but the fruit is also less flavorful because it is picked green to ripen during shipping. Professor Kerry Mitchell and his doctoral student experimented with LEDs, which are cooler and much more energy efficient than traditional high-pressure sodium lamps used in greenhouses. They got the same yield or size and number of fruit with high-pressure sodium lamps and LED towers, but the LEDs used about 75% less energy. The goal of the research is to reduce prices to the point where local growers could compete with shippers. Future studies include comparing the flavor of the tomatoes.
Asbestos can be deadly if inhaled and has been banned in many industrialized countries since the 1980s, but the threat lingers in the ceilings, walls, and floors of old buildings. A new laser-based system is the first portable asbestos detector and aims to provide an affordable way for tradespeople to ID the airborne particles. Currently, the most common way to identify airborne asbestos is to use an air filter, count the number of trapped fibers, and use X-ray technology to determine whether it's asbestos, an approach that requires expensive lab work and hours of wait time. Real-time fiber detectors commercially available now are unable to distinguish between asbestos and less dangerous fibers such as mineral wool and glass. The University of Hertfordshire method employs a laser-based technique that exploits a unique magnetic property of asbestos. When exposed to a magnetic field, asbestos fibers orient themselves to align with the field, something virtually unique among fibrous materials. That orientation is used to tell whether a fiber is asbestos or something more benign. The system has been lab tested and prototypes are now in field trials. It could take 12 to 18 months to get the first production units for sale with an initial price of $700 to $800. The detector was developed under the European Commission FP7 Project Alert and was published in Optics Express.
That's it for this edition of Light Matters, Photonics Media's weekly newscast.
As always, you can write to us with your comments or questions at lightmatters@photonics.com.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
I work in the area of photonics applications, especially laser micromachining for making devices and materials processing. That is the prime area which I use for developing devices and applications of photonics in different fields. Currently, I have certain projects in the area of automotive portfolios, electronics, sensors, and both national and international projects all across the country.